A North Korean fisherman's boat broke down. He had no choice but to seek help from the South Korean border guards. However, the South Korean authorities treated him as a spy and sent him to the South Korean security agency. On the way, the man kept his eyes tightly shut. He knew that if he saw South Korea, returning to North Korea would be impossible. At the security agency, he was brought into an interrogation room. The examiner asked him to write down his life story. He wrote it over and over, and the examiner checked it repeatedly. If there was even the slightest difference from the first version, he would be interrogated again. The man grew frustrated and eventually could not bear it anymore. His resistance led to a severe beating. When the leadership learned about this, they harshly criticized the examiner for being reckless. They said that beating defectors would harm the country's image if exposed by the media. The leadership reassigned the examiner to interrogate another defector and handed the man over to the defection unit. The defection unit treated him completely differently. Their goal was to make him stay in South Korea. Whenever North Koreans escaped to South Korea, the government heavily publicized it. They used defectors as a political tool to show the world how much North Koreans desired to come to the South. A woman from the unit told him that if he became a South Korean citizen, the state would take care of him. He would receive an apartment, a monthly allowance, and training in a new skill, and were pitiable. The man felt tempted. He then asked if he could bring his wife and children with him. The woman hesitated. The man immediately realized the situation and demanded to be sent back to North Korea. Seeing that persuasion was futile, the defection unit stopped trying. They instead had the team leader show him the prosperity of South Korea firsthand. Before leaving, the man met a fellow North Korean in the restroom. The man quietly told him that he was a defector who had escaped to South Korea with his daughter. The daughter ran a rice sausage shop and was doing well. However, he had been mistakenly treated as a spy and sent for interrogation. Before he could finish, the defector was taken away. Soon after, the defector escaped from the interrogation room, his face covered in bruises. He begged the man to give a message to his daughter in South Korea. Before the man could respond, the defector bit his tongue and killed himself. It turned out that the examiner wanted to take credit for successfully extracting confessions. He had coerced defectors into admitting they were North Korean spies. He had already falsely accused several defectors, and the man had nearly become one of them. Seeing his fellow North Korean die in front of him left the man shocked and heartbroken. The team leaders said they would take him home. On the way, the man kept his eyes tightly shut, just like when he had first arrived.